Pastor Bo Whitfield, please come up.
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity to come and to start this meeting off tonight with prayer. Let's bow our heads and pray. Lord, we thank you, Heavenly Father. Tonight we just come before you, and in the mighty, awesome name of Jesus. And Lord, we, first of all, as the psalmist said in Psalm 119, Lord, this is a day that you have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We're thankful for all of your many provisions. We're thankful, Father, for your protection. We thank you, God, for good health. Thank you for gathering us in this room here tonight. And God, I pray that your hand would be upon, Lord, every item, agenda, God, that's on the docket tonight. Be with us, Father, as we talk about all the various questions and issues and things that need to be resolved, plans that need to be made. Lord, I pray for this board, God, and this school board. I'm thankful, Father, as a parent in this community for educators and teachers, administrators that dedicate themselves to the education of our children. And God, I just pray for them. Lord, I want to speak the words of Jabez over them, that the Lord, that you would bless them, Lord, in every way. God, bless them, bless their families, their children, God, their spouses. God, that you would enlarge their territory, Lord, that you would give them great influence, Father, and wisdom in making decisions. Lord, I pray that your hand would be upon them, that you would be with them and guide them and lead them, Father. And finally, God, that you would protect them. And Lord, tonight, we just want to pray, God, for our children. Lord, for the children of our community. Lord, as they're in summer break right now, I pray just a hedge of protection around every single child, Lord, in Vicksburg and Warren County. God, I pray, Lord, that they would be protected not only physically, God, but be protected mentally and spiritually as well. Lord, we pray for the upcoming school year. God, I pray for every single parent, God, that in our school district that, Lord, will be partnering, Lord, with schools to, God, to see that their child be educated and educated well. Lord, we pray for all of our administrators and teachers, God, our principals, support staff. Lord, let your hand be upon them, oh God. Lord, as they perform these invaluable tasks and roles. Lord, let your spirit be in the room tonight, God. Lead us and guide us, Father. Give us your wisdom, Lord, in all of the manners, God, and docket, the things on the docket. Lord, we just pray all of this again in the mighty, awesome name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for those words, Pastor. We're at C with the adoption of the agenda.
I make a motion, we adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
Okay.
Madam Secretary?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the school board meeting minutes that was held on May 30, 2024.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions, deletions, additions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Mr. Superintendent.
Very brief today. We are working, preparing for the upcoming school year. Our curriculum team is reviewing our curriculum and pacing guides. We've had 7 habits training, some empower instruction training, had 6 summer camps going on this year. Our directors have completed their accountability standards. MDE has 32 accountability standards that we have to meet as a district. They have assessed their departments to ensure that they are meeting those standards, or we as a district are. And there's also a Gulf South gas line working on some 16th section land. I'll share that letter with you. They've assured us that once they repair the natural gas line, they'll repair everything and put everything back like it was supposed to be. That's all I have for today.
Wow. Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. We're at the bond project update. Is there anyone on the phone?
So we didn't have any this month.
Nothing? Okay. We're at G, Ms. Hughes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So tonight I present to you the monthly board financial report as of May 31st, 2024. And on our first slide, you will see a snapshot of our revenue budgeted to receive year to date. So if you would proceed to the next slide. Our revenue for district maintenance for May 2024, $3,281,804. Next slide. A snapshot of our expenditures budgeted to expended year to date from July to current, which is May. Our expenditures for district maintenance for May 2024, $5,295,606. Revenues versus expenditures for May 2024, we have $3,281,804, and we have expenditures of $5,295,606. And then our fund balance compared to last year, our fund balance this year in May, $27,064,611, slightly up compared to 2023. Any questions?
There are no questions. There are motion.
Make a motion to accept the financial report.
Moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
Next on the agenda is the 16th section late land updates. Just for your review, nothing there that needs to be approved.
Did
you get the accounts?
Yeah, we.
Oh, accounts
two.
payable docket, I'm sorry. Accounts payable docket, I'm sorry. I'm ready.
On the account payable dockets here,
Yes.
I was looking at, I thought we had gotten this cleared up, but maybe I was dreaming. The water pressure on Warren Central's baseball field, that, I saw a bill in there, was that, we had done that earlier in the prior administration. Did it happen again, or?
It did.
Yeah, it did.
It happened again.
There was a vendor issue there, so yeah, it did happen again.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Anyone else have any questions? Is there a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the accounts payable claims document.
Second.
Moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
Next on the agenda is capital assets, new acquisitions, and surplus for disposals.
Ms. Hughes, under item 14, I see that, I thought the unit here was working, but I see there's a portable air conditioner for the finance department. Is that for, and, well, anyway, what is it for, I guess? I don't even want to try to guess.
We have been having issues with our air here as well.
Wow.
We have experienced a number of days where the air has not been putting out to capacity to, accommodate the ladies in the office. So we did have one portable unit purchased for our offices, and we also have fans in the times that the air does go out.
Okay, so it's already purchased.
Yes.
So
So
this
just
is
a
the
question.
horse out of the barn.
Is
Okay.
that on the list of ones being fixed?
No, we take care of schools first.
Okay.
We'll get to it, but we're
But
gonna
it
take.
needs to be on the list.
Yeah,
Track
it will,
I
yes,
mean,
sir.
I think on our list you're sending out with all the schools, it ought to be on there. I mean, we need to know the whole picture of what's outstanding. Our schools are important, our staff is important.
Any other? Their motion.
Make a motion to approve the
G3.
G3 new acquisitions and surplus disposal.
Second.
Moving properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Now we we have?
16 section land updates. It's a lot of leases renewing as of July 1st. We are starting to receive some of those payments. Does not require any action at this time.
Ms. Hughes, on the payment notification letters, once they're mailed out, is there a specific due date, like, and I'm gonna do what I shouldn't do, is assume that the payment notification is saying that on June the 28th, your payment is due?
That's correct.
Okay.
And she starts to mail those out actually 2 months ahead of time as a reminder.
So if I do not pay it on the 28th, then what's the next step we do?
Well, here recently, they haven't been paying Meridian Speedway, Erdit, so they haven't been on time. I guess after 90 days or so, we may need to bring that back. But those who have been delinquent do come back in the next month and make those payments.
So right now, we just don't have a recourse as to what we're gonna do if they become 90 days in arrears.
I
We
guess
we
I would
can
take that
we can
up with
terminate the
Greg.
lease.
Okay.
I think the only one that's gotten past the point really has been the United States.
Well, we're not gonna bother them.
Well, I have talked, even after the last meeting, I told the superintendent, I talked to their contact, and he said, we're moving, it's just the government process. And I said,
Speed of a
I said,
turtle.
y'all need to move it along soon, or we're gonna have to terminate or something. I know they need the site.
Is there, I know probably not for the federal government, but for other lessees, is there a late fee if you're 30 days late, or
Right.
is there a fee?
There is, and there's a provision to cancel. That is, the one unique thing about that USA lease is it's the only one that's not the same form as every other lease that we have in the district. They have a special lease that they enter into, so it doesn't have the provisions. That's the only reason we can really hold out longer with them, is because they don't have the automatic termination provision that the other lessees have.
We probably do need to bring you all back some steps on how y'all want to handle those. Certified letter, give them a certain amount of time, followed by another one. We can bring you some suggestions on if they get to that point.
Yes, sir.
Well, and there are some things, Mr. Superintendent, if I may, there's statutory obligations too, and those are in the lease. And really, you mentioned Meridian Speedway, but I think they got paid pretty quickly after they got the second notification. It's just the United States, and they're not under the same provisions that the rest of the lessees are.
Is there a motion to approve G4? Any more questions?
Do we approve that update, or we just accept?
Just accept, you don't approve.
And make a motion that we accept the 16th section lease update.
Second.
Moving properly, second to accept G4. Are there any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I have a question,
Yes, sir.
just for general information, because I never got an answer. About 2 weeks ago, the Hayes family that owns Central Asphalt called me about discrepancy in their bid. They felt like that they had the lowest bid, but the job was given to someone else. And the superintendent was out of town at the time, and I talked to Kathy about that, and nobody ever called me back. Is there somebody who handled that bid that would know something about it?
It's the contract that's coming up down there. If you want, we can talk about that when we get
Be
down.
fine, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's all you have, Mr. Levine? That's all you have?
That's it, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
16th section, approval of the hunting and fishing bids. We did those on last month. And we did have one where the owner was not present, and then we had to transfer it over to the person who was present to make that bid. So that is Herbert Pool on track number 1, section 16, township 14, North Range East. But they are all listed together, tracks 1 through 5.
So we're approving a different person than we approved when we opened the bids, or?
I think he sent a representative came for Sessom. And
Yeah,
and Sessom wasn't here, but a representative came and said that the land was being turned over to him, but we did not have any documentation in place.
we do now?
I think y'all approved all, I don't think these need to be back up, because you
Yeah,
approved
'cause we
them
approved
last
them.
month's
Okay,
meeting.
that's what I'm asking. I don't.
And I think the one that Ms. Hughes is referencing was a lease where they apparently wanted to assign it, but they did not assign it prior to the bid opening. And I felt bad for the folks, because they wanted to be there, but it wasn't the current bidder, and it was not assigned prior to the meeting, so
So they didn't have a right to.
they didn't have a right to match, unfortunately.
Okay.
So the new bidder got it.
Ms. Hughes, will we be receiving this every month or whenever the bids are up? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking. It's the only reason why I'm asking. If not, then don't even pay attention to me. If we're receiving it, would you please include the longevity of the lease? Like, it's 5 years, whatever. I said, and only if you're gonna give it to us.
Okay.
So what might be hard with that, Jim, is like last month, we opened those here, so she won't know who we're giving it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but they'll have a 5-year lease or a 30-year lease
Well, we'll
or
know,
a 15-year
we'll know
lease.
what
then.
leases are coming up for bid, so she can put that on there.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Well,
Yes.
you don't really need, can I butt in here? You don't, you advertise, you authorize the board to advertise, or the district to advertise those leases, and they were all advertised in the newspaper, all for 5 years, all for the specific track. So when you approved them at last month's meeting, you effectively approved the lease, the same 5-year lease for that person. They're gonna all be 5 years unless otherwise noted. All the hunting and fishing leases are 5 years. Your ag leases, we did pass a law recently, your ag leases can be 10 years. But, most leases are gonna be 5 years, with the exception of some that are commercial and industrial, and there are a few church leases that are longer, and maybe, one or two other unusual ones. But, so there won't be anything, unless y'all want to do something else. Once you approve them at the meeting, it's done.
Oh, yeah, no, it was just for information, but that's fine. As long as we know, now we know that the majority is 5 years, that's fine,
Okay.
as I mentioned earlier. Yes, do we need to, which one is that? That is G5,
And he said we don't need to approve anything, so.
okay?
Yeah, y'all already voted on that
All right,
last month.
G6,
Financial technical assistance, we are receiving that through the Mississippi Association of School Business Officials. When we presented the contract in March, we said not to exceed a $15,000 limit. In June, they had reached $12,000 with the work from April through halfway June. So we thought we need to present it back to the board since we had a not to exceed $15,000 limit.
so how much more?
And what services are they providing for you?
They are doing the bank reconciliations from 2018 on up.
Okay, and so this is asking for an additional 15, or is this?
Yes, we didn't want to keep working without coming back to the board, since we set that $15,000 limit on it.
And are they provide, so do we know how far they've gone?
Yes, we have conversations just about every day and updates on where she is and looking at the financials for each of those months. We provided all the bank statements. I would imagine somewhere around August, early September, she will have all of it completed.
Good.
And that extra, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Pratt, are you through?
No, yes, sir.
Anybody else have some questions? Okay, so we're at 12 and 15, that ought to be like 3,000 if my addition and subtraction is correct. Do you know about how much more we need to approve?
I would say another 15 based on where she is now. She has not given me a definite, many of the weeks she's been out of town, so she's working when she can. I would imagine she would probably need another 15, and at that point, she should be where she's nearing finish.
So let me ask a question. Once we get caught up, what is the plan moving forward to stay caught up? Will we use these services from her monthly, or is someone within the department going to do this?
So we are trying to train individuals on the staff to do that. So for those that are current now, I have been doing those reconciliations and training members of the team to do those to carry forward. She will, once she finishes, work with the team to explain to them the things that I've been explaining on how important it is for those reconciliations to be kept up on a monthly basis and to figure out if there are any variances, what caused those variances.
Are there any other questions?
I make a motion, we approve G6
For,
Second,
for how much?
15.
15,000.
She's asking for
Okay,
15. Not to exceed 15.
okay. I just didn't have it in mind. Oh, yeah, yes, it is. Not to exceed 15. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, that's an addition, this is above and beyond what we've already approved.
The 3,000 that's left,
Yes.
yes. Because that has already been taken care of. Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve G6 for financial technical assistance contract. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
Next on the agenda is the insurance renewal for 24-25, which was presented to the superintendent and myself by Mr. Don Timms. If you notice in the packet, the premium from last year to this year has a $607,000 increase in the premium. The general liability in itself increased $300,000, and then for the property increased approximately $720,000. The explanation for those increases were basically because of the area we are in. It is difficult for them to find insurance companies that are willing to underwrite businesses in this area due to the weather patterns. They explained the recent tornadoes, hailstorms, all of those impacted the premiums that we are seeing for this upcoming school year.
And that premium has increased $1 million over the last, with this, it'll be
So,
$1 million
when we first bid
over the
this
last
out-
2 years.
How long was the term? Because we bid this out like last year or the year?
Yeah, it's every year. It's not a bid process. However, we did have a conversation with the broker that we would like to see these premiums presented to us in early February, March, so that if those premiums increase at this rate, we have an opportunity to seek another proposal from a different broker. And that way, the board is not under the gun at June 30 to accept a policy that expires on July 1st.
You don't need insurance till you need it, right?
It's legalized theft. Insurance, just so you know, insurance is legalized theft.
And that's, I think this is the second year they've come and brought us this at the last minute. So we need for you all to think, look at it along, and we do as well.
You gotta have it.
As
We gotta have it now.
Gotta have it now. Yeah,
I'd be glad to approve it now, but I want it rebid next year,
early.
and they can rebid it in February or March.
We did
Communicate.
put them on notice
Yep.
that we did not want to wait until April to start this process, that if they are interested in securing this again, that we would have to see these premiums in early March.
I think that's great because I think the Department of Insurance told them that they could raise the rates. So we see how they're raising.
So
the
how many,
rates.
just so you know, it works like when I have my auto insurance, how many claims did we have last year?
Well, he did not note any claims for last year. There were some claims in previous years when they did the run loss history. So there were about 4 that the district had. In totality, those 4 were about $500,000, and that was the extent
Or
of
they
the
just
claims.
made up their claims and got an extra 100 for the.
So they are still making money.
Yes.
Okay, just
Who
checking.
is the broker at this time?
It's under Hennessy and Timms.
Hey, yeah.
which is a
Did
local,
they also have it last year?
yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve G7? Oh, are there any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve G7 insurance renewal.
Can I make an addition to that, with the understanding that we're gonna rebid this next year?
Okay, with the understanding that we're gonna rebid on this next year.
Second.
Moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the robotics bid. This is through the Mississippi Equip Grant for Warren Central High School. We put that out in April. The bids came in May, so now we need approval. We only had one vendor to submit. It was Air Hydro Power, and their bid came in at $150,000.
And out of the grant, we'll be able to pay this. Will the grant pay the whole amount?
The grant is only $113,000. The district has to make up the remainder.
Okay, next time, would you please list it that way?
Sure.
Thank you. So we have to come up with 37,000. Wow. Okay.
But it does provide equipment and training to our staff. So,
Okay.
Make a motion, we approve G8.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pratt. With the notation that,
In the future, it needs to signify.
where the additional money will be coming out of 11.
A district fund,
Yeah,
yeah,
district funds.
yes.
If that's okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
next on the agenda is the lawn maintenance award, or bid awards. We had 5 submissions. 3 of those vendors participated in the online RFP process, and those vendors were R&J Handyman, Professional Grade Lawn, and Maynard Landscaping. We had 2 hand-delivered proposals, those being Hicks Lawn Service and Triple L Lawn Service.
Were they all received within the required time?
Yes,
Were all of the bidders, did all of the bidders submit a complete package?
not all bidders submitted a complete package. Only one vendor did not submit a complete package.
Okay.
Okay, what vendor was that?
Triple L Lawn Service.
Okay, we saw something about references weren't submitted.
Right.
So that was it, okay.
And insurance, what was missing? So for the public to understand, when we put an RFP out, it requires to submit a complete package would be a price for doing the services. And if it requires you to prove proof of insurance, has to be provided, even though you may have insurance. If you don't provide that proof of insurance, it's not by the date of the bid has to be submitted. Or also, if you're required to provide references, that's not a complete package.
Right.
Can
And
you think of any other reason? That's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yes, certificate of liabilities were required to be submitted with the Vicksburg Warren School District named as a secondary insured. And so in the lowest bidders package, that was not made available to the district.
Okay.
Okay, what were because I only have 3. So what were the other 2 bids?
R&J Handyman,
What was the amount?
$355.
Okay, I have that. I have R&J Handyman, I have Professional Grade Law, and Maynard Landscape Company. You said it was 5. What the other?
Hicks Lawn Service?
Hicks Lawn
Okay,
and Triple L,
what was Hicks bid?
$268,740.
Okay, and what about the other one?
Maynard was $600,000.
Okay, I have that on here.
Okay. Triple L was $256,800.
Okay.
And what was that, man?
355,400.
And y'all are recommending, based in accordance with the Mississippi law, that we choose the lowest completed bid,
Which is Hicks.
which is Hicks, at $268,740. Is that correct?
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the recommendation to approve the lawn service bid for Hicks Lawn Services for $268,740.
And would you include in that the explanation for the minute, including the explanation for the minutes that the lowest bidder did not provide the
Complete package.
necessary required documents as part of their
So-
bid submission?
Approve Hicks Lawn Services for $268,740, understanding that the lowest bid of Triple L Lawn Services did not provide a complete package within the time frame.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Moving and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion.
Next item on the agenda is the HVAC maintenance bid award. We had two to participate in this bidding activity. Those two being Dent Turner AC of Greenwood, Mississippi, and Star Service of Hines County in Jackson, Mississippi.
I have some questions about it. In the RFP, what are you asking them to provide?
Oh, it was a list of things. Mr. Pratt, no, I-
Because I'm still confused as to,
What services they're gonna be providing, especially the first year. What services will we get the first year for this amount?
Okay, so both bids were put out as HVAC as a service or as HVAC, let me pull up. It's called. So,
You want me to go, there are the 16 items listed that we asked them to address.
so I know that when you and I talked about it, we talked about they were covering certain items the first year, and the second year was just, the first year included those items plus the maintenance. The second year was just the maintenance.
But they changed this, it will be those same things first year for all 4 years.
Okay, so
It'll be the
it's,
same thing.
okay, so it looks like though in the page 4, it's excluding, just so I understand what we get.
Yes, sir.
It says agreement exclusions, all control systems, domestic water systems, out of service, condemned HVAC, all out of service or condemned HVAC units.
Yeah, they won't, we didn't do that big $1.8 million package that they originally proposed. We didn't do that one. If something is out, they will give us a quote and then they'll replace it.
Okay,
They
so
won't
it's
charge.
nothing's included, no current parts is included in this. This is strictly, basically like an hourly rate agreement,
Small parts, fan motors,
no compressors.
the compressors, they won't do compressors, fan motors, condensers, capacitors, all small repairs are included in this. But when you talk about replacing units, that's where we're gonna budget some money and they'll give us a quote and then we say yes or no. And they won't charge us, service on that because they already service the units. They'll just be the replacement cost of the unit.
And we have a negotiated hourly rate, and here's what I'm also seeing. Is
It's,
that covered, labor's covered in this, right?
Yes.
So if they have to replace a compressor, and the compressor's not covered, is the labor for the compressor covered?
Yes. We pay for the compressor or the new.
Okay.
Right.
And we're already, do we have an idea, so what is it, I'm trying to find the grand total, what is this per year then?
$875.
Okay, do we have an idea, and we already have to be spending a certain figure per year already in break fix, repair and maintenance? Do we have a ballpark figure?
So last year, we spent about 500,000 between two different HVAC entities.
Okay, but what we're getting with this 800,000, we aren't getting with the 500,000 is, we weren't doing any preventive maintenance last year.
No,
No, sir.
And this does cover some of the parts we were having to pay for.
Yes, sir.
correct.
And service calls.
So the 500,000 was just, did not encompass if you had to purchase equipment.
Oh,
was
it doesn't,
Last year.
500,000.
For
so the
last year.
500,000 didn't include any hardware, is what you're saying? Or If
It
you
did
bought a
not.
new AC, if you had to buy a new compressor, it was
We
not,
had
in-
to pay for it,
and it wasn't in the 500,000?
no.
Oh, okay, that makes it even better, okay.
Yeah, that is included.
So they did provide a packet, I don't know if you all have had an opportunity to look at it, which details the condition of some of the units.
Well, that was the
In the
one I
district.
got, okay,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got it, okay.
Yes, and they did note that there are approximately 1,400 units throughout the district. that-
Just 1,400.
Just 1,400.
And what we'll do is budget some money so they can repair a bunch of the old ones. And then next year we'll budget some more money so they can replace some more units because we do have a lot of old units in our district.
Questions?
Yes, sir.
On that, and all the building that we've been doing,
Yes, sir.
none of those that we have in problems right now was not replaced at all.
No, they were not, no, sir. But we do have some in the new buildings that's giving us problems.
So they shouldn't have to fix those, that should still be under warranty.
I think they're 4 years old, the ones that,
Okay.
so they're out of warranty, yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir.
All right.
So the ones that
They go, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve G10 HVAC Maintenance Bid Award.
To Star Services?
Star Service.
Star Services Incorporated.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve Star Services. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
And FYI board members, they'll be at Dana Road Monday morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, they will be there Monday morning, yeah.
And so we're on track to have the issues we have been experiencing completed or repaired. I'm sure they can't fix everything, but that we will have air at the start of school.
The only one we're worried about is the band hall at Vicksburg High School, because they gotta bring the crane in. They're large rooftop units, so it takes a while to get them, and then they gotta get a crane in. But for band camp, we got a backup plan for them to go to Vicksburg Junior High.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you. Can you continue to provide us that update next?
Yeah, I sent it to you through email.
Yeah, you did, I got it, I just want to know that we want to.
Okay, yeah, yes, sir, I got you, yes, sir.
And I guess I have to say, we do have, since we had an insurance meeting and they noted that some of those units had been damaged by the weather, we will call the insurance company so that they can send someone out to make an assessment to determine whether or not those units need to be replaced. They also said that they would have the roof examined on those buildings to make sure that we did not need a new roof replacement.
Thank you.
G11.
This is for child nutrition. It's the RFP for milk for fiscal year 2025. Also, child nutrition has an RFP for chemical supplies for 2025.
Can we do both of those? Mr. President? Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion.
That we approve G11 and G12.
Second.
Moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
G13 is a request to submit or permission to bid for metal detectors for Warren Central High School and Vicksburg High School. This comes as a request from the principal at Vicksburg High School. We did secure some quotes on those items, and they were over the limit if we were going to place them at both schools, so we had to do an RFP.
So you're just asking us to bid it?
To bid it out.
Okay. I make a motion we approve G13.
Second.
Moved and double second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Before you say anything, would you please explain to me what is a bid activity building? Maybe I should know, but I have no clue.
The activity building that will be at South Park, Warrenton, and Bovino.
Yes, ma'am. Redwood too.
Would be a multi-purpose room for students to socially distance in the event there is another outbreak of RSV and/or COVID. We are trying to ensure that we have adequate space for all of our students in case they need to break away from each other out of the regular building.
So how big, what are the specs? of it? How
58 by 70 is the room, and the roof is
16.
16, and then at the tip, at the top of it is like 20 feet.
So it's a metal building
Yes, sir.
with HVAC?
Yes, sir.
And
It's gonna be a separate building to connect.
Separate building
Separate
with a walkway connected to the school with a rubber floor.
so question, how are we paying for that?
So we are going to use some ESSER funding for those projects. As you know, we did receive about $40 million in ESSER funding. At this point, we still have approximately $15 million remaining on our books to
Will we be able to
spend.
spend it in time? Is it legal to?
It is legal to spend it as long as we have a contract executed prior to September 30. The Mississippi Department of Education will allow for a late liquidation period.
Make a motion, we approve G14.
Second.
One question, please, how many square feet in these public
Yeah, let me do the math. It's
Yeah.
15 by 70.
70.
Hold on one second.
And you said the ESSER money will take care of all four buildings?
MD has already approved for us to move forward with the buildings in terms of money. Now we just have to get the renderings finished and completed and start the work.
Okay, so ESSER money will pay for everything?
Yeah, she has 4.5 million budgeted. Each one is expected to be about $800,000 per building. One building has to be hurricane ready because it's within the city limits. So that building would be built out of cinder block. The other buildings may be metal buildings, as we had a discussion with the insurance company yesterday, and they discussed that we may want to consider cinder block. So it depends on the cost for us to upgrade those buildings. The metal buildings are approximately $800,000. The cinder block building, based on what the architect has said, will come in at about $1.2 million.
Okay, so the three for 800,000 is 2.4 mil, and then the 1.2. So my only question is 6 is 3. $3.6 million. Will ESSER money pay the $3.6 million, or will we have to come out of 1120 to help fund this?
Well, fortunately for us, we do still have funds available in the limited tax note. And in the event that these projects should run over, these are just estimated costs. Of course, when you start to break ground and start digging and doing all of the things, you may run into some instances where those estimates may exceed what was expected. In the event that does happen, we still have the limited tax note funds available, and we have to have those spent here really soon. So in our estimation, ESSER has been budgeted to cover these projects as well as the bathroom renovations at Vicksburg High School.
So how much is left in the limited tax notes?
Currently, we have right at $6.9 million in limited tax note funds.
So either way, we can.
We'd be able
We
to.
should be able to cover it even if we decide to build all of them at a center block.
Right.
I would, so when we bid this out, are we gonna bid it out both ways?
Both ways, yes, sir.
So if they're gonna bid, we'll have a price for a metal building at Redwood and a center block building at Redwood and a, okay, so we can make a decision. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
How many thousand square feet?
4,000. 4,060 to be exact.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, where are we now? So that, we're done with finance, right?
You have anything?
Nope, I'm
Anybody else? Do you have anything?
down to consent.
Okay. What is the pleasure?
What?
We already approved it. We approved it already.
Have I?
Yeah, we
Did
approved,
Have I?
we approved them to put it out to bid.
Oh.
Joe had a
missed that.
question, Joe had a question after we approved it.
Oh.
And so we got back to
absolutely.
discussing it again.
We were in that process to go on to approving, and the question was in. Okay, now I think I'm saying, are you ready to vote? Because I don't think we have voted on it. Did we vote on it, ma'am?
Thought we did, but we can vote on it.
I'm just asking. Did we vote? I didn't think you had made the motion. And who seconded?
I did.
Okay, Ms. Dodson. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Thank you, Mr. Byers. I'm glad you asked that. That question was really good. Okay, we're down to general items and the consent agenda, which goes all the way, it goes, what is that alphabet?
ABC.
H, I,
Is personnel not on it?
Forget it.
Huh? It's
yeah,
not.
just H and I.
H and
H and I. Are there any items to be pulled?
Get H8 from Mr. Labat. H8. Yes, sir.
Okay,
From Mr.
so,
H8.
and then I'd like to pull H4, 5, 6, and 7, but 7 and 4, I want to bundle together, okay?
You said 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yes, ma'am,
And 8.
24, 25, and H. 4, 5, 6, 7, 24, 25, and then, we don't have to go to, J is not under consent.
Okay. I make a motion,
J is not under.
we approve the consent agenda with the exclusion of H4, H5, H6, H7, H8, H24, and H25.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. If you would please allow me to bump together H7 and H4. Both of them talk about strategic plan, and are these two different strategic plans?
Yes, sir. So
Okay, so-
the Battelles and kids will do the strategic plan. When that process is over, the student education will come in and work with our directors and help us develop scoreboards, exactly what their role is in achieving the goals of the strategic plan, provide leadership training, and help with implementation of the strategic plan and monitoring of the strategic plan.
Okay. So one, I'm gonna be simple if I may. One is gonna write it for 46,000.
Yes, sir.
One is gonna teach it for 49,000.
Work with us to implement it, yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all have any, y'all have any other questions? Is there a
I
motion?
make a motion, we approve H4 and H7.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Thank you all very much for allowing me to do that. I think. Doc, is this the one that we
have to belong to
that we
a,
talked? No, I'm sorry. I just want, I'm talking about the dollar amount on this one. Because see, my dollar amount says this. Doc, is this the one we talked about? Okay, the dollar amount says this, but on the back it says that.
Yeah, Doctor, is that the one you still working on school status?
See right there, that one?
Oh, okay, I'm on the wrong one, I'm sorry, that's H6, I'm sorry, I went to 5.
Okay, that's what we talked about? Okay.
I went to
Would
5,
someone-
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, would somebody
H5.
please
What do you
approve
have?
that?
That's actually 12, is that it? Is it not 12, Rick?
I'm sorry.
It's not 12,000?
No, we're on
That
6.
that was this one, 46, one on the front side it said 46, but on the back side it said that.
Okay.
And
But are we not
Doctor
on
giving me a call.
No, we're on H6, Mr. Pratt, that's why I got confused.
Oh, did,
We
I did say,
pulled-
we pulled H5.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, but-
I
but-
we're on H5.
But Dr. McGee had, backed me in the corner in his office. He told me that he was, taking care of this. So, would somebody just please make a motion to approve that?
H6, yes.
H6 or 5?
That's it.
That's 6.
The school status agreement?
It's H6.
But we pulled 5.
I
pulled
pulled
5.
5. I was just talking about 5.
We pulled 5 and we hadn't approved it. We pulled
We
5.
approved 4 and 7.
See right there? Yeah, see right there? Then let's say
So we got numbers
H5.
wrong?
I knew I hadn't been drinking yet. Let's say H5.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know how we got
Okay,
off one.
see, but it's 5 is 6?
It's 6 already.
Okay,
yes, sir.
so
What about, well,
let's
so we're in
just
order.
approve 5 and 6, and that way we'll
All
have
right,
both
I
of
make a
them.
motion to approve H5, which is,
Yeah, okay, because I need to ask one other question on 6. Go ahead, Mr. May I ask a question before you approve?
Yeah, go right
Okay. Our addendum on, you are 6, but my 5. Is there addendum attached to this to you all?
We did not, by law, we have to join a RISA, and.
So there's no addendum needed?
Yeah, we've been with them, and we've been with RISAs before, so thanks to Mr. Hobson, then we have to do this, so.
Okay, but that's all I have. Yeah, I'm ready, Mr.
all right,
Okay.
make a motion we approve H5, which is Mississippi Centers for Educational Development Membership Contract, and H6, since we have confusion, which is school status agreement.
Oh, they have them backwards on. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a motion, and there's a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. I don't understand either, ma'am, so don't worry about it. Motion is approved.
Now we're down to 8, right?
We're under 8.
Thank you.
No,
Yeah.
who pulled 8?
Mr.
Mr.
Leviza.
You pulled.
So this is the paving contract.
Paving contract, yes, sir. So, Mr. Leviza, we followed the policies and the law when we did this.
Yes.
There were some issues with one vendor, and we went with the next vendor as we're allowed to do by law.
Well, and I can't think for the gentleman that called with the complaint, but either he didn't know about the law or he wasn't given that information before he complained to me about it. And you being out of town at the time, I really couldn't give him an accurate answer.
I met with him, Mr. Leviza.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're gonna notify him?
I talked to him this week, yes, sir.
That's what I need to know. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, making,
Yeah, real quick on 8, if you would make that subject to final approval with, I haven't been able to get in touch with Russ Blunt. No, it doesn't need an addendum, but it's an AI, it's a long AIA contract, and it's got a lot of stuff in it that I just started reviewing, and there's one thing in there I know we need to tweak.
so
But
approve it contingent on your.
yes, if you would do that, and
I'm making a
once I
motion to
talk to the
approve
architect, we'll get it clear.
H8 on the contingency of review and approval of the board attorney.
Second.
Moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? Are there any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. H24. Is there a cost?
Is that
Or
the,
does somebody have it on there?
I'm looking.
Okay, H should be Bomar Smart Pass.
It's free.
I don't.
Fees are paid. Oh, it just says we should pay the fees.
I don't know what that is. He's out of town.
Is it imperative we approve this right now?
No, we can actually bring it
Mr.
back.
Rayner has-
Oh, okay,
I
Mr. Rayner.
spoke to Mr. Benz about this, because we're looking at this as well, and it's a problem with them accepting our addendum.
Well, no
We're
problem.
trying to figure that out before we get bids.
So
Because I'm looking at smart pass as well, but it's an issue.
Thank you, sir. Would someone please
So do
table
we need to
this?
approve it?
Let's table it.
Table.
Let's table it.
Well,
Superintendent,
I
say-
reviewed, they sent back the addendum, and you're right, there was a problem.
Yep.
I took their contract and marked it up and sent it back to them, and I've never heard back from them. So either you can delay, I don't think they're going to approve it with an addendum. If they will, we're fine. But if they don't do it, you can be back here next month looking at it. And I suspect they'll either have to take what I marked up on the contract, or we won't be able to work with them.
So what is smart pass?
It's a hall pass, electronic hall pass system, where, you know, a kid asks for a hall pass on his computer, the teacher can verify, but it gives us control. If there's 3 kids I know don't need to be out of the classroom at the same time, I can block it. So if they ask and the other kid's out, it automatically says no. So it's a way for us to better track what's going, movement in the hallways and movement in the bathrooms.
So you just want us to table it since?
Yeah, the superintendent.
I
asked
think
that
we should,
table.
because we don't have a price, let us get a price
All right, I
and
make
see if they're
a
gonna
motion
meet.
to table H24.
Let's move in proper second. Are there any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Kind of goes back to, on this $30,000 that, the English learner professional development, I read, and it showed where the higher bid this time received the bid instead of the lower bid. And my only question is, do we need to know why we chose the higher bid amount instead of the lower bid amount? Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Hill.
It's in our narrative. This is a vendor that we've used for 2 consecutive years, and we want to maintain that continuity with them. And then, since using this vendor, we've had about 4 to 5 of our ELs to exit out because they met those scores that they needed to exit out, and we want to keep that pattern.
So you need to note that, please, ma'am, if you don't mind.
Can I ask another question? Dr. Henderson, is this person from Mississippi?
Yes, I believe so.
Is this the Henderson School Board Association?
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's Tommy Henderson. This is Monique. That's Tommy Henderson. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all we have. If you make that note, please, ma'am, I appreciate it. Is there?
Make a motion, did you make?
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
put
good.
anything on
I'm
the
good.
motion?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Do you need to add anything to it?
No, sir.
Okay, I make a motion, we approve H25.
Moving proper second, are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. We're now down to J1. J1. J1, H.I. I'm sorry, I'm trying to. J, this J2. J. Okay. Nothing we have to do about that, that's,
Okay, so in J1,
H.I.
J, personnel,
Good.
can I ask a question on J1 while you look?
I got it, sir, go for it.
I appreciate the delineation in the 2 documents provided now, so we can tell
Yes, sir.
what we're doing. And the only thing I would ask is that, could we add a column on the recommendations to say whether or not this is a replacement or a new additional position, so that we know if we're approving this, we're adding money?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it just, Yeah, just
It'll
some
say
way.
who they're replacing, or if it's a new position,
Is
it's
it
another
replacement, who
column.
they're replacing? If it's a new position, just say new. So that would indicate to us, if it says new, is this is technically a non-budgeted position, and we're gonna ask you how we're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, right. I like that idea because it helps us track, when we're replacing, and, that's actually a good thing. We'll just make it, what is it when you turn it the other way, is that landscape? Yeah, we'll make it landscape and add that other column.
Or if you wanna put it in notation and just put it in there.
No, it actually
Well, you have new
helps us.
position, I see you have new position. I do see that.
But it actually helps
Hiring.
us, it won't be a problem.
And so, I'm sorry, Mr. Pratt, you through? Go ahead.
Well, I do have a question, because you gave us two documents, and one document separations. So the separations has a retiring person in it, right? So on the recommendations document, you have someone that says, there's an individual, the last one here, I'm not pointing someone out, it says retiree.
We're hiring them back afterwards. They are retiree, but we're bringing them back.
Okay,
Yeah, they retired from school
Okay.
system.
all right. I'm fine if you want to put it in the notation, you don't have to create another column, just so we can tell who they're replacing. Maybe you do need another position, so if this position is replacing English teacher X, we would know what it was, so you can track it.
That's right.
Okay. But yeah, this is great, thank you.
I do have I would like to piggyback off of three things on the new positions, and you can just give that. I would like to know how much we're paying those, because that's what we talked about last month on the costs and how much it's going to add to the budget, because it is going to cost pretty good if they have, in other words, the SRO, how much service he or she has, how much we have to pay them, how much we have to pay the school nurses.
So you'll figure out that person we're hiring and look at the scale. If they got 5 years' experience, they go to the pay scale.
And then how much.
They would tell us exactly what that person's gonna make, so we know what the addition is.
With the bennies.
Yeah.
Which, because a $50,000 person is gonna cost you about $65,000.
Okay.
Okay,
You good?
I am. Anybody else has anything? We're great.
Make a motion, we approve J1.
Second.
Moving properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. J2. This is, the only thing that's changed is the 200 days for the vocational student service that is in red on my paper.
That's it, yes, sir.
Make a motion, we approve J2.
Second.
Moving properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. J3.
I make a motion, we approve J3 with the stipulation it needs to sign addendum.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. J4. I have a few questions, and I'll go last if everybody, unless somebody else.
I think I've had mine answered, but if I recap, this is the same thing we talked about last meeting, and that you're updating the job description to require this position to have a degree in accounting,
Yes, sir. Clerk to
to
account.
have more, and currently that is not a requirement.
Yes.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Thank you. Ms. Hughes,
I have a question.
now with this title change that was voted down last month, but with this title change that you're asking for, right now, it's, the title is a fixed asset financial clerk to an account, right? And if it is approved tonight to become an accountant, will the salary remain constant or will the salary go up? Because now you're adding to the budget again with the 3 employees that we just hired last month. And even though this position is already in that's vacant, the cost? What I'm asking is the cost gonna go up? If it is, about how much will that cost go up?
So currently, that position starts out with no experience at about $15 an hour.
Okay, so what's about 20-something?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, 20,000, 22,000. Okay,
So.
I'm with you.
So to attract somebody with an accounting degree, we're asking to have that position start at around $25, $26 an
That's
hour.
at the minimum, because ain't nobody gonna take no.
Which goes from 22 to about how much?
From 22,000?
I mean, wait, that's what it is now, you're saying, roughly to, just a figure, yeah.
About 50.
Okay, about 50, so, okay, so that's 38,000 plus your benefits, so that'll put you about at 46,000. Okay. How many persons right now do you have in your department? And everybody, including you?
Currently, there are 11, there are 12 positions. This position has been vacant for
Yes.
the majority of the school year, as well as several of the other positions. So throughout this school year, I have had to replace approximately 6 different positions.
Yes, ma'am.
And this position is one of the positions that it has been vacant since January 2024. And then we filled it, person moved, so now we need to look at how to get someone into the district and make sure that we're not just getting them in the district, but to retain them in the district. Of course, $15 or $16 is not enough to take care of a family. And if someone has a degree, I'm sure they're not even going to entertain this position. So,
Especially in accounting, you're very correct, because if it's a accounting degree, you're very correct.
Is this position on salary scale already?
It will be.
it's an hourly position currently, it's hourly.
Are any of them CPAs, certified public accountants?
No, we don't have any CPAs. In fact, we just revamped the team to where we have 2 other team members that have degrees. In our primary positions, we're looking at a total budget of about $120 million. And so when you start talking about making sure our balance sheets are reconciled every month, our bank statements are reconciled every month, it's basically me going back to school. I feel like a professor sometimes because I'm teaching throughout the day as to what an entry should look like. And so for my team, I feel that, well, for the district, I feel the district needs someone in the event that I am no longer here, that they can sustain the operations of the district.
Who's in second command right now?
Ms. Knight. Ms. Knight, Billy and Knight.
Okay, so Ms. Knight would be able to maintain that at what you said, what you just said, correct?
Ms. Knight is in the process of taking some accounting courses. She was the Assistant Director of Finance when I came on board.
Yes, ma'am.
And the requirement for her was to go ahead and start taking those accounting courses, which she has complied with that. She recently received her school business administrator provisional license, so she is on track to begin to assist me with these efforts of restructuring the district operations in terms of finances.
Okay, so this fixed asset financial clerk that you are trying to eradicate, how are the fixed assets at this time?
Fortunately for me, Ms. Hills has been gracious enough to allow Carl to step in since it has been vacant. When we started sending out emails and had meetings with the school building administrators as to what it was we were required to do in terms of tracking our fixed assets. Many of those administrators admitted, and some of those fixed asset clerks admitted that the district had not gone out in the last 4 to 5 years to do an internal audit to see where those items are. Carl is pulling double duty. He is maintaining fixed assets for Ms. Hills in federal programs, and since March, he has been pulling double duty for me, trying to help me get those back on track.
Mr. Minor does a wonderful job, let me just say that, in federal. So with that, how are you going to, if you hire the new person that's an accountant, who's gonna maintain the fixed assets, or will you come back to us and ask for a fixed asset person?
That's not my intention. My intention is for, if Ms. Hills will still allow, for her to allow Carl to train someone to do those duties as well. If you know that those fixed assets tie into our balance sheet, and so we need an accountant to know what those journal entries should look like, when it should be depreciated, how long it should be depreciated over time. So the goal is to get the person trained and then also get them trained in school accounting so that they know how to help us in terms of balance sheet reconciliations, to be a backup for payroll, to be a backup in in general bank reconciliations. If you know, we have probably 20 different accounts, and those 20 accounts are not just district maintenance accounts. They're 16 sections, they're bond accounts. All of those have to be reconciled. The transactions have to be kept up with on a monthly basis. Now we're entering into construction projects once again. I'm trying to teach my staff how to calculate and how to book retainage. So I need someone to understand the language I am speaking when I speak it. So I'm not looking to add another position. I'm just looking to add quality to the team.
And if I can add one other thing, we cut another $100,000 position from central office to pay for this position.
So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that info.
This is just an observation. I don't see how you can set the salary for someone that doesn't have the qualifications to be above what is ordinarily paid.
Well, we were going to use an existing salary scale. The scale was already here when I came. And so we were just going to place that individual on the salary scale that was already in place.
Well, I think you're a very quality person. I'm talking about general business practices. You kind of put the cart before the horse. You set this big salary up here, and then you go try to find somebody that works at that
It's a
level.
salary range, it should be a range.
You're asking to change the job description to meet that requirement.
Right.
And the requirement is to have a degree in accounting.
So the 16th section person that we have on board right now, he or she does not reconcile what they do.
No, they do not. So the 16th section person that is currently on staff, they track those leases. They are the person that is responsible for sending out the notices. They collect the lease payments when they do come in. The 16th section clerk helps us, or helps me, when revenue comes in. I prepare the journal entries for her to record. Not any slight to her. She keys them, but in terms of understanding what we're keying, she may not, understand what those things
But you
are.
approve the journal entries, what you're saying.
I write them up and I give them to her to key.
Okay, and I'm not trying to, I'm not here to, what's the word? I'm just trying to get some understanding on how your system is working it back there, because with 12 people, with 11 people, but with a 12-person staff, I just can't see how many folks that are not Well, I better not say what I'm saying. My wife told me don't say that. Okay, so I will say this, is that I can't, the fixed assets, you said you're gonna train somebody, you hope that Mr. Minor does it, but you're gonna train somebody in your office that's already there, so you won't have, so hopefully you won't have to ask for another position, correct?
That person would do a dual role, so fixed assets is not something that should take 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That may take 2 days out of the week, but the other days of the week, that person or individual would be helping me on the accounting side to make sure that debits are posted correctly and credits are posted correctly. With the balance sheet reconciliations and everything else that we have to do on the financial side, that person would be assisting me with that.
That's a great point you made right there, because I was gonna ask, does the 16th section take up 8 hours a day too?
In my estimation.
No, ma'am, in real life.
In my estimation, it does not, but that person also has recording of the revenue that comes in on a daily basis, recording of the revenue that comes in each month, recording of the revenue that comes in from every school as it relates to athletics, as it relates to collections of payments for fees from the school, Chromebook fees, field trips. That person does those type of recordings throughout the day.
And this is my last question now. I'll hard to hear, Ms. Hughes. Are we utilizing the 11 persons that we have there to their fullest potentials?
So if I will, I'll explain my 11 people team. I have 2 people in payroll. In payroll, we have approximately 1,100 employees. And that means 1,100 employees with a minimum of 5 deductions. That person has to make sure that all of the deductions are there, that they are accounted for and taken out of those checks each month. And they're responsible for garnishment. So add that on to the top. 500 of our employees have garnishments. Garnishments in itself is not a one-day thing. It may take that person 2 to 3 days just to make sure the garnishments are not just reconciled, but they are entered into the system. I have a time and attendance clerk. Our time and attendance is paper-driven. So on average, if we have 1,100 employees, we can expect to receive 3 pieces of paper each month for those employees when they are absent. That does not count the number of times those hourly employees who are hourly and they fail to clock in add another 5 to 6 sheets of paper for missed scans saying that they were there for that particular day. So time and attendance is very tedious, and it takes a lot of effort to make sure that we are recording absences and recording time worked properly. In accounts payable, I have 2 team members there. Again, we have 16 schools or 14 schools and 2 sites with all of the departments purchasing. Those individuals are responsible for making sure that invoices are received on and paid. It takes a lot of effort to follow up on these invoices, especially when we issue POs in September and we are still seeing outstanding POs in March. So my AP team spends a great deal of time on the phone trying to get invoices from schools, from departments, and from vendors so that we can get those paid within the 45 days. I also have a purchasing clerk. The purchasing clerk does all of the requisitioning processes for every department and school in the district. She not only does that, but one of the findings in our audit report was that we were not tracking travel reimbursements. So she has been given the task of making sure that any employee who travels and receives district funds to do so, that they submit the proper documentation to settle up with the district. So she has that responsibility, as well as making sure that all of our purchase orders and things are closed in a timely manner or issued in a timely manner. I have someone that is working with grants that I am training to work on the various grants that we have. In SBAC reporting, she is learning the journal entry process or how to write those journals. Her day is filled with working with me primarily so that she can know how to request those grants each month. That's her duty, to make sure that each of those are requested each month. If any journals need to take place, I write those and I teach her how to write them up and what to look for when we need to write them up. There are a number of funds outside of title, juvenile detention, nurse, school intervention, IDEA pre-K. We are starting to get a number of individual grants, small grants, that she is tracking as well. I also have someone now that is going to be responsible for our student activity funds, and that person would be responsible for communicating with each of the principals each month to let them know where they stand with school activity funds, to also help review our general ledger, to do the bank reconciliations, and to assist should any other team member in our department is out. Right now, she will be assigned to payroll. She would be the backup payroll. My grant person is the backup purchasing order person. So we have started cross-training in the event that any person is out or has left the district. I have a backup plan for those individuals to fill in. So we are in the process of trying to get those things rectified that have been noted in our audit report. Ms. Knight, each day she is more in the day-to-day operations. Munis is not supported by technology, by the technology department. So we are the Munis backup. If a principal cannot get into Munis, if a teacher cannot get into Munis, if something is not pulling correctly, Ms. Knight is the Munis guru. So we spend a lot of time addressing Munis issues. Ms. Knight approves any requisition that comes from purchasing. She also assists with payroll to make sure that those figures in payroll or salaries are correct. She works with HR. If HR needs to have reports pulled relative to pay, benefits, she pulls those reports. Our days are filled, or her days are filled, with a lot of questions and inquiries from various departments because she's the Munis person and she also has some accounting responsibility. I am assigned the receptionist. How I got the receptionist, I don't know, but she is on my team. She answers the phone, she gets all the packages, she makes sure they go where they need to go. So I have the receptionist as well. And then that leaves just me. So I am involved in a lot of the day-to-day, not to mention all of the directors, every day.
Me.
You. So the day is very busy for me as well. When I can, I meet with the directors along with the grant person. I sit in on other meetings with the principals, with the directors, Dr. Holloway, Dr. McGee. So I'm spread kind of thin. So my day is very, very busy.
And if I can add one other thing, I got a letter from MDE that I sent you all. That was not her problem nor mine. And if we don't do something to address the quality of employee in that department, we can do all this. If we don't do something, that letter is not going to go away. We can work. It is going to be harder and harder and harder. You all were doing business with these type of things before we got here, and look what it yielded us. That letter is not mine or hers. So what we're trying to do is improve the quality of employee back there. And we have good people back there that just need to be trained. So I'm not trying to say that they're not good. They just don't have their background to help us with the things that keep letters from MDE coming to us on. So that is what we're trying to do. We made cuts to make up for the $38,000 in central office, some fluff that could have been cut. So financially, we are not adding to the budget because of the $100,000 position that we cut.
Right.
So the Munis is the software that we changed to, it's probably before you got here.
Right.
Okay. And then probably the grants that you spoke of probably wasn't here when my dad was here and a few others. But Dale McClung was here with probably 6 of them, and we never got these letters. So I'll just make that note, that 6 persons ran it, and we had almost this many of employees. So it can be done if what Doc just said, and I'm not going to say anything else, I'll just say what Doc said.
I'm just gonna say this, if you go back and look at how jobs have been advertised in this department,
You're correct. You're correct.
they are being filled 2 to 3 times per year. There is no longevity in this department. Again, the goal is, if anything were to happen, there needs to be some individuals on this team that are ready to run this organization. When Ms. McInnes left, when Cassandra left, there were 2 people basically pulling the load of the accounting department. They were here 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. They were here on weekends, and I find myself here.
I make a motion we approve J4.
Second.
Are there any other questions? There is a motion on the floor. There is a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. We got,
He was aye.
what,
You said nay?
He held his hand up.
okay, we got 3, so motion passes.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes, for what you do, and your team. I know it's very hard. Y'all have come into a very difficult situation, and we
And
do appreciate it.
Thank you, and I'm so glad to see you all cross-trained. Thank you, thank you.
Next time, anybody, here's the key. If you get turned down 1 month, just come back the next month. Bam, it's done. Now we're at J5. All I'll add on that is, are you gonna, I know you want this person, this will probably be a new person.
Yes, sir.
That you want to add.
Yes, sir.
New persons, get it. Get what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. We have a frozen budget, and Doc and I have talked about it, and I still love him. Doc and I have talked about it, but this is the 4th new person that we're adding on to a frozen budget. We released several teachers. But again, I still love Doc. I know what he's trying to do. I understand. But I'm a banker, ex-banker. All I see is the bottom line. And right now, it looks good. I would not make a prediction at this time. Give me just a few more months. All I ask is that I think you wanted him to assist the teacher.
This person, yes.
So he'll be, or she'll be, yeah.
Because we still do tech, and board members, what we're doing here is we pay somebody right now to provide these techs. We're taking one of those positions, taking some of the money we give him and making that employee our own. So we cut out the
So
middleman.
we spend a lot of money on technology. I've always said this.
We spend $118,000 for somebody
We buy all
else.
this technology.
Oh, yeah, we need
So
it.
is it cheaper?
And,
So it's
you know,
cheaper?
we do Google Classroom. If you don't take this and make sure our staff, we get new staff members every day.
I have no problem with it.
Okay.
Because all I can do is turn my phone on, so
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
I make a
When it
motion to
comes to
approve
tech.
J5.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. J6, transportation, bus, logistics. You want to talk about that, Todd?
Yes, sir. We are decreasing a position, and we will probably break it into 2 positions. Right now, there was a position for an assistant transportation director. Ms. Taylor wants to take that and make a logistics person who helps with routing, does the routes, goes out and helps drivers when needed. They will still drive a bus, but they will help with the routing software and some other technological things that we haven't been taking advantage of. We may come back to you, depending on how much of the salary this takes up, we may come back because we don't want to add anything. We're trying not to add anything, and we really haven't, but we want to come back in our parts department and work orders on the buses. There's no tracking system, so we want to put a person back there at a secretary's salary if we can afford it.
I have a question about this. I have no problem with this. Very interesting job description, that's all I'll say. But I think it's way too detailed. But because there other duties as assigned covers 99% of this. But I'm concerned that with the shortage of bus drivers, that we have a need for this function to be done. Work orders, routing, and so forth. But when what hits the fan, we end up always sending everybody out to drive a bus. I don't know how we do that. I want to ensure that, yes, this person in an emergency situation could go ride a bus, but I don't want us to consider this person to be driving a bus every week.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Taylor, I spoke up for you, but
No, that's fine, but I do, so.
I realize that, but we need to hire enough bus drivers. We need to figure out what we can do differently to hire enough bus drivers, because it's no different than the issues we're having with the HVAC.
yes, sir.
And this is no slight on anybody. And y'all are in the trenches, and when something happens, y'all rush and meet the need, which is to drive the buses. But when no one is in the office doing the logistics, answering the phone, doing the preventive maintenance work, we fall even farther behind. Although we're getting kids from the school to the house, there's work that has to be done in that office to make sure we're maintaining our fleet, ordering the things we need, interviewing new bus drivers. And if we're not doing that, if not able to do that, and I know it's hard to find bus drivers, so maybe we need superintendent to help look at what else we need to be doing to recruit more bus drivers so you don't have to drive as often as you do. And so this person doesn't have to drive, because if they're not in the office, all this work's not being done. If they're driving a bus, which is a needed thing, but we also need this work to be done for us to be successful.
We will continue to recruit. I saw something on the news a couple months ago, nationwide, that we're down almost about 250,000 bus drivers nationwide. It is a shortage everywhere. It was a shortage where I came from. It was a shortage where I came from before that. So we're trying, and there's some things we need to do internally ourselves to help that cause. And we're working on those as well.
I make a motion we approve J6.
Question. Ms. Taylor,
Yes, sir.
on average day, how many buses do we have moving at the same time, and bus drivers? In a day, say start morning school to
We
the
have
evening.
64 drivers in total, or 67, I'm sorry, and that's including the mechanic, plus myself, we all drive.
And do we have do they have the, on the bus with them, the monitors?
Not all buses have monitors.
Is it a reason that they don't, or do we just
Can't afford the
got
thing.
better kids and we just,
So that's a budgeted issue
okay?
that will probably need to be addressed, but not all buses have monitors.
All have cameras?
No, sir, not all have cameras. New buses have cameras, some old buses have cameras.
Have you looked at that, and looked at the, how much it would be to put cameras on all buses?
Yes, sir, I've been looking into that. Yes, sir.
Is that something we could use some of the ESSER funds for?
That we use the bond, some of that old bond.
Okay.
We can.
We need to, because we have,
Just found that out.
if that bus driver is driving and the kids are being,
Yes.
they have, there's no way he or she can be dealing with them, but with that camera, we can kind of at least slow them down, set them down where they're supposed to be, and act the right way on that. So,
We just found out today that we can't purchase equipment from that bond money. So I'll get with you, Ms. Taylor, to see how much it is, so we can.
Ms. Taylor, I'll be the elephant in the room with everybody skirting. The kids like me who mess up on the bus, how, when the bus driver comes and tell you that Jim Sturgis is doing his usual, what's the process on how you take care of that?
So the student handbook includes the steps for discipline. We have a electronic bus conduct, so our bus drivers, you can download it on, the bus drivers can download it on their phone. They are able to write the bus conduct. It comes to me, I read over it just to make sure it's correct and send it. When I send it, it goes to the principals.
Okay.
It goes to the assistant principal and the head principal, and
Gotcha.
whoever takes care of this.
And then they take care of it from there. Beautiful.
We do not do discipline.
No. I was just wanting to make sure that there was a track of where you would send Jim Sturgis so I wouldn't get back on the bus the next
Yes, I'm
day.
gonna send you straight on bus conduct and to your principal.
Beautiful.
Yes, and I probably should know this, Ms. Taylor. Y'all get feedback. Y'all get what happens back to you, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I
The
thought
bus
so.
driver can get an email saying that Mr. Sturgis cannot ride the bus.
That is probably
Okay.
true.
Thank you, and I should have known that, but since Mr. Sturgis asked the question, thank you.
I make a motion we approve Jason.
There's a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. K1. That is discussion action on monthly policy reviews. Do we need to hold on to that?
Mr. Sturgis, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we got you.
I bring greetings from North Georgia, from Woodruff Boy Scout Camp. It's been some good weather up here this week. Before y'all, you have your general policy review. The policies for review this month are G personnel. It's about a third of those policies, GBA through GBQ. That is just for general review. Then we have 6 other policies that were presented last month for review. All of these had dealings within the handbook because of some of the updates that we did in the student handbook this year. These were policies that were affected. Those were presented last month. Changes were in red for those 6 policies. So if y'all have any questions, I'll do my best to answer those.
Are there any questions? I decided to do like everybody else and not read. Are there any questions? If not, is there a motion?
Make a motion we approve, we're approving all that.
Is there a second? It's been moved and properly second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. K2, monthly service improvement.
Yes, sir. You have your June improvement updates, which we really didn't have improvement updates because we're not in school in June. MDE makes us submit one for June because some of the schools are on the modified schedule now and are still in school in June. But nothing really was updated.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion we approve of the school improvement plans.
Second. It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
I make a motion we go into closed session to determine.
Mr. Pettit, before you do it, can I say something? And I apologize for this, but, we just month, the last few days, we lost, one of our former superintendents, Dr. Bob Cochran, who passed away. Also, Mr. Nolan Smith, who was the ROTC, the man out at Warren Central passed away. So just pray for those families.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we go into closed session to determine the agenda for executive session.
Moved and properly second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Boom. Thank you all.